Welcome, welcome to Mary's little house at Centerville. I'm so happy you're here. Peanut's been waiting before he takes his nap for his cameo appearance. This is our Peanut. He's our little lamb dog of Mary's little house, our little lamb dog. He suffers very patiently, but oh, and he's just very humble too. He knows he's very popular, but he's very snuggly. He's just leaned his head against my chest. He's a precious little one. He teaches me so much about God, or how we should respond to God, God's tender love. And when he doesn't get affection, he keeps doing his little paw and tells me. He's just really cuddly right now. Oh, don't worry about that spot up there. I was picking up something off the floor at church, and our church, the Shrine Church, is all poured concrete, very massive, but still graceful. It doesn't bog you down. It soars, but in one of the walls is just jagged concrete, unfinished concrete, which is very natural and real and authentic. Uh, but it's also very jagged, and I bumped my head on it. So no big deal. I don't think I have a concussion or anything. If I start acting funny, maybe I do. But that don't take it from there, because I'm already that way. Oh, I'm so glad to have you and to be with you. It's a pleasure to be with you. I missed you. I couldn't wasn't able to do the YouTubes like I do in about every 2 or 3 days. I think I'm a little late. Now Peanut's asleep. I started talking. Now he could go to sleep. A lot of people don't use sleeping pills. I watch my videos to get a good start on their rest. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about is a lovely person. She's just beautiful. Here she is, her picture. Uh, I'll show you here's her picture, but she said when she was a little girl, she was brought up in a big, nice Catholic family in the city of Lyon in France. And she fell when she was 15 years old, and she really took a long time to recover. And when she recovered, I'm going to get the picture, but I want to introduce her. When she recovered from her sickness, she gave up her social life. Now, she was a very beautiful girl, and I'm sure in the society of Lyon, she was a much sought after young, pretty soon a debutante. But she gave up all of that, and she says, "My heart is made for the whole world." Now here she is. Ta-da! Look at Peanut. Here she is with the whole world. Can you see her? And this is the whole world. I can't get the whole world on the screen here. But my heart is made for the whole world. She wanted to dedicate herself to God. And her brother, who was a priest, gave her the direction. At that time, the New World in North and South America, in Africa, in Asia, all these missions were starting, and new churches were being built, new dioceses, and her brother says the missions need help. That's alms, our money, and also prayer. So she figured out a way to collect alms and prayer for the missions in her little in the city of Lyon. She would ask the leader to get 9 other people, and he would have circles of 10, and these 10 people, these circles of 10, would pay just a little bit, maybe a quarter or something in our currency, and pray for the missions. And the leader would collect it in every week, and she wanted to go to the whole missions, to a central fund, to the whole missions. Well, that by a year, she had 500 workers, mission workers, saving up, giving every week, and money, alms for the missions, and and praying for the missions. And this caught on, but not without a lot of difficulty. Some of the pastors in Leon had problems with that. So here's a young woman collecting money or something. I don't know what their problem was. But they had this big meeting in the diocese in Leon. And people came to it. Everybody but her. She wasn't invited. Poor thing. You know, you'll see what happens. And they were fighting about whether this circle of 10 thing is a good thing for the church. And two men stood up. I guess they're very influential men. Stood up and said, "This is a good thing. The church needs missions, and the missions need the church's help here in the old world." And at that time, that meeting, it turned the corner, and it established what would be the future Society of the Propagation of Faith. The Society of the Propagation of Faith. And it's now in the Vatican, and it's the society that it's called for the it's a new name today, but it's the same thing, evangelization of peoples. That's what collects funds and sends them to all the dioceses that need help. Hundreds of I think it's like 500 dioceses in the mission countries that need help. I'm not sure about the 500, but in that area though, and they help with the funds to build churches, the seminaries, the convents, everything the churches needs, the missions, the orphanages, the hospitals, this propagation of faith that this little Venerable Pauline-Marie Jericot started. It was wonderful. And she started it was after the French Revolution, and the church in France was really suffering. And she started She started this little society of missions of the Circle of Tens to renew the faith in France, which was somewhat sagging after the French Revolution, and to renew it. To renew the faith, to fill up the faith in France, and it really did. It caught fire. They had really missionaries and mission societies, and after the Revelation, the Oblates of Mary Immaculate were one of those missionary congregations that was founded in France, in Marseille, in southern France. So she got that fire going in France, and she's called by the propagation of faith. She's the match that lit the fire. She's the match that lit the fire of the missions. And I've always loved her and admired her. Oops, I almost dropped the world. Okay, on my thing here. I always admired her and for her zeal. And she was a little young lay woman to do all this. And she lived the intense life of love for the Eucharist, especially our Lord and the Blessed Sacrament. Oh, let me just tell you some more things about her. Yes. Also, besides being the foundress of the Society of the Propagation of Faith, now called the Evangelization of Peoples, which is directly under our Holy Father, that helps all the world missions all over the world. Besides that, she's a foundress of the Universal Living Rosary. She got people together, and they had one decade of the Rosary, and all over. It was all organized. So all the time, people are praying the Rosary together. They are the beads, the people, the living Rosary. Praying the Rosary for world peace, for the conversion of souls, for the missions. She did that. It's still going. You can Google it up, Universal Living Rosary. We have the headquarters here in the United States. It's a wonderful organization. Besides that, this little girl, this match that lit the fire, she got very sick later on. She was sick when she was 15 after a terrible fall, but she was really sick, miserable, absolutely miserable. She was writing to of going to where the relics of Saint Philomena were kept. I think toward the north part of Italy. I forgot the town, Gulf. Anyway, but she went to Rome first and saw the Holy Father. Now the Holy Father knew about her and her good work, and the Holy Father blessed her on her journey and says, now if you get healed up there with through the intercession of Saint Philomena, I want to know about it. So she went up to the tomb or the relics of Saint Philomena, the church that the Philomena's relics were in. She venerated them, prayed for them, and she had a miraculous cure. I mean, she was fine, and she looked like death warmed over. Even the Pope said that, he saw her, how poorly she looked and everything. And she came back alive and bright and radiant in health. Well, the Holy Father, I forgot his name, said, okay, I'm going to start working to renew this devotion to Faith Philomena, a virgin and martyr. This one, and so she also helped found, I mean, indirectly because of her of this wonderful miracle, which the Pope saw the before and after this wonderful miracle of her being cured by Saint Philomena through her intercession. Cindy and I and many of the people in our ministry of Mother of God Ministries, we wear her cord of Saint Philomena cord. We wear it underneath all our clothes. It's a cord of red for her martyrdom and white for her purity. She was pure, and Saint Philomena was. She is too, and she was like a martyr too, because people persecuted her. She was one of the first to see the evils of the Industrial Revolution. She was. This is around Leo the 13th and his social encyclical of new things. Novissimo. I forgot the name of the encyclical, but the first social encyclical that addressed the evils of the Industrial Revolution. But she was one of those who were speaking out against child labor, against long hours, poor wages, dangerous occupational hazards. She was one. In fact, she didn't just sit there and speak about it. She tried to found an industry to model the church's social teachings of good pay, of good housing, of safety. Poor thing, she was working. She used all her life savings, all her patrimony for this industrial thing to help the worker and his family. But the people that were with her stole all her money, and she died in great debt. And even at that time, and this is awful to say, she went to the Propagation of Faith for help or something, and they said no, and they said, we do not recognize her as the foundress of the Propagation of Faith. That's how she was rejected. She died that way. She died in great debt that was caused by other people's stealing it, literally stealing it from her. But her heart was for the whole world. And she wasn't afraid of anything. She suffered a lot. So she had a white martyrdom. I said virgin and martyr. She could have a virgin, not in a strict way, but a white martyrdom of people of rejection, of opposition, and misunderstanding. But here she is now on the road to canonization, to beatification and canonization. Venerable Pauline-Marie Jericot. She's one of those I really admire for her mission, her sense of mission. She was really, and out of the blue, and another one out of the blue is St. Teresa, the Child Jesus, the little flower. I can't reach her picture. Oh, anyway. I'll get it. It's stuck in another picture. It's stuck in the picture of Rembrandt's of Jesus coming down from the cross. There. She's on the side there. She's a co-patron of of the missions. She never went to the missions. She was intending to go to North Vietnam, to Hanoi, but she never made it. So she stayed in her cloistered convent and prayed for the missions, and had 2 missionary priests she's offered her sufferings for, and encouraged by her letters, and she prayed for them. Usually, sister only had 1, but she had 2. So here's Venerable Pauline-Marie Jericot from Lyon, and here's Saint Therese of the Child Jesus from Lisieux in France. See how France was renewed by the visions, and the 2 women, very unlikely ones at that, because well, it's just really neat. We're great propagators of the missions to proclaim the good news, to go out into the whole world and proclaim the good news. Okay, here we go. Put that back while I'll lay it down here. So there's other ones too from the France. So hello, France. The eldest daughter of the church. You're wonderful. France, you gave us Pauline-Marie Jericot. You gave us Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. You gave us Saint Eugene de Masnad. It's wonderful. I thank you, France. Keep sending the missionaries. God bless you.